Muslims around the world celebrate Eid with joy, prayer, charity, and reflection amid ongoing conflicts and global uncertainty. Taiwan boasts military readiness despite no immediate attack, citing China's growing power and persistent cross-strait tensions. And Italian drivers feel pressure as fuel prices surge past €2 per litre amid Middle East supply disruptions. Thanks for joining us on the World News. My name is Sandia Tudusmo. Now, in the heart of a battered Gaza city where buildings still lie in ruins, something remarkable happened. People gathered again. We have the reports.
For the first time since the war began in 2023, Palestinians returned to Gaza City's Saraya Yard to observe the Eid al-Fitr prayer. It wasn't inside a mosque, it wasn't grand, but it was deeply human. Men, women, and children stood shoulder to shoulder under the open sky, some smiling, others quietly wiping tears. For many, this Eid carries more pain than joy. Mahmoud Taga, displaced from eastern Gaza, recalled how different things felt just a year ago. But the danger has not disappeared. Though large-scale fighting has eased, gunfire and airstrikes still occur frequently. Gaza health officials say hundreds have been killed, even during the ceasefire period. Behind every statistic is a story, a family missing someone, a home left empty. Still in that open yard, amid the ruins, people showed up to pray, to remember, and to hold on to whatever hope remains.
Now, instead of laughter and celebration, many families in Gaza spent the first day of Eid al-Fitr in silence at graveyards. For them, Eid is no longer about new clothes, food, or family gatherings. It is about loss.
Among the mourners was Riham Yaksin, kneeling beside her son's grave, calling out to him through tears. "Wake up, just wake up," she cried. "I have no one else. His father died before him. I am alone." Her words captured pain shared by thousands. After years of war, Eid has become a reminder of who is missing. Alia Raja, who also lost her son, says both Ramadan and Eid have lost their meaning. "There is no taste anymore," she said quietly. More than 72,000 lives have been lost in the conflict, according to Gaza health authorities. Behind that numbers are mothers, fathers, children, and countless stories like Riam's. On a day made for joy, Gaza is mourning.
And in Jerusalem, Eid prayers took place not inside the sacred Al-Quds Mosque, but outside its old city walls. Barred from entering due to security restrictions, thousands of Muslim worshippers spread their prayer mats along the streets, turning the roads into places of worship.
Eid is meant to be a time of joy and unity, but here it also became a quiet act of resilience, faith continuing even when access is denied.
And in Haifa, the sound of sirens has become part of everyday life.
On Friday, as warnings of incoming attacks echoed across the city, residents once again made their way to shelters, then returned to what they were doing. Some even went shopping. That uncertainty hangs heavy. In malls and markets, people try to maintain a sense of normal life, buying groceries, preparing for the weekend, all while staying alert. For others, frustration is growing. The war has already claimed lives on multiple sides and displaced countless families across the region. Yet, in Haifa, life continues in strange balance between routine and fear, normalcy and uncertainty.
And in Rome, a simple stop at the petrol station is no longer routine. It's a moment of concern as the conflict in the Middle East continues to disrupt global oil supply. Drivers in Italy are now feeling the impact where it hurts most, their wallets.
Fuel prices have climbed sharply, crossing the €2 per litre mark in recent weeks. For many, it's a sudden and worrying change. At a filling station, Angelo Raffio paused as he watched the number tick higher on the pump. "We are worried," he said. "You don't know how this war will unfold. Everything, the oil, the prices, it all comes from there." To ease the pressure, the Italian government has stepped in with a temporary measure, cutting fuel duties by what was once just another trip to the pump has now become a reminder of how touching lives thousands of miles away.
Now let's move to Russia, where it says it's not stepping into the latest round of talks between Ukraine and the United States, at least not yet. A Kremlin spokesperson described the current pause in trilateral discussions as temporary, expressing hope that negotiations involving all sides will resume soon.
For now, the focus remains on bilateral talks between Kyiv and Washington. Still, tensions remain high. Moscow continues to accuse Ukraine of targeting critical energy infrastructure, calling such actions reckless and demanding an immediate halt. At the same time, Russia says it is in ongoing discussions with Cuba, exploring ways to offer support amid economic challenges. Behind the diplomatic language lies a familiar reality, a conflict far from resolution, and a negotiation process still searching for common ground.
Now, across the Taiwan Strait, tensions continue to simmer, even without an immediate invasion threat. Taiwan is not taking any chances.
Its Defense Minister Wilton Ko says China's growing military power remains a serious concern, regardless of recent U.S. intelligence suggesting no near-term attack. For Taiwan, the focus is clear. Be ready. Military drills are intensifying, surveillance systems are on high alert, and new defense strategies are being put in place. President Lai Ching-te is also calling for unity, urging citizens to stand firmly behind the military. Across the Taiwan Strait, tension continues to simmer, a reminder that even in moments of relative calm, the risk of conflict still lingers.
United States President Donald Trump has sharply criticized NATO allies, accusing them of backing away from efforts to secure one of the world's most critical shipping routes, that's the Strait of Hormuz. Trump said it will be easy for allied nations to step in and help protect the vital waterway, but claimed that most had told Washington they were unwilling to get involved. The remarks come as tensions continue to escalate across the Middle East. Iran has warned the United Kingdom that allowing U.S. forces to use British military bases will be seen as direct involvement in the conflict, something London says it is keen to avoid. At the same time, hostilities between Iran and Israel are intensifying. Israel has carried out airstrikes targeting Tehran, while Iran has responded with missile attacks, including strikes towards Jerusalem. The violence is spreading beyond the immediate conflict zone. And in Venezuela, they're undergoing a major shift at the top. Interim leader Delcy Rodriguez has replaced a key military commander just a day after appointing a new defense minister, a move she says is aimed at ensuring stability and national security. The chances come in the wake of dramatic political developments, including the removal of former President Nicolas Maduro earlier this year. Rodriguez has since moved to rebuild ties internationally, particularly particularly with the United States, but not everyone is convinced. Critics argue the reshuffle must simply recycle old power structures rather than bring in real reform. For many Venezuelans, the question remains, will these changes lead to lasting stability or just a new chapter in an ongoing struggle? Norway's crown princess Mette Marit says she was unaware of the criminal past of disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein at the time she had contact with him. Speaking during an interview alongside Crown Prince Haakon, she insisted she did not know Epstein was a convicted sex offender or predator. When it was pointed out that publicly available information, including online sources at the time, had already detailed Epstein's conviction, the Crown Princess said she could not recall. And in Cairo, Eid morning came with laughter, color, and a sense of normalcy many in the region can only hope for.
Outside the Hajj Shadiq mosque, children ran around clutching balloons, their excitement filling the air. Families greeted one another warmly, marking the end of Ramadan with prayers and celebration. It felt like it should feel. That sense of safety has allowed traditions to thrive. Families and sherry kak, the buttery biscuits that define Eid in Egypt, while children dressed in new clothes eagerly collect idea, small cash gifts that bring big smiles. Across much of the Middle East, conflict continues to cast a shadow, but in Egypt, people are holding on to joy, choosing celebration, togetherness, and gratitude.
Across Russia, the end of Ramadan brought a welcome moment of joy, reflection, and togetherness. And the city of Ufa, worshippers gathered early in the morning at mosque to mark the Eid al-Fitr. You're still watching the World News. Let's take a break at this point. When we come back, we'll bring you more reports. Please stay.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, AIT_live, and AIT Livestream 1 on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
Glad to know you're still there. Now, millions of Muslims across Nigeria joining others around the world in celebrating Eid al-Fitr, popularly known in Nigeria as Salah Day. The festival marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan, a period of fasting, prayer, and reflection observed by the Muslim faithful. From Lagos to Kano, Abuja to Maiduguri, worshippers gathered in large numbers at mosques and designated prayer grounds early this morning to offer special Eid prayers. The atmosphere was filled with gratitude, unity, and celebration as families dressed in colorful traditional attire marked the occasion. Clerics used the opportunity to call for peace, tolerance, and national unity, urging Nigerians to uphold the values of compassion and generosity beyond the festive period.
That the entire world we should come together. Then before, Nigeria we should come together. That we should know we have a challenge. And by the time we come together, we'll be able to identify what our challenges are. We isolate it, then we'll get victory. Besides that, we need to also understand and appreciate that who and what are our enemies. When we realize who are enemies, we will not be in small groups to be fighting ourselves so that our enemy will take over our land. The issue is we should all come together, see ourselves as one, and we move ahead.
Irrespective of whether you are a traditional ruler, whether you are in the government, whether you are parents, we all have responsibilities to play. And that responsibility is for us to inculcate the culture of ensuring that we live in peace with one another.
We pray and appeal to all Muslims to pray for Nigeria, for the whole country. Where all this problem is getting places, may Almighty Allah bring the end of it. We need peace, and we always call him peace. Let the peace reign by the special grace of Allah. 2027 is coming, it's about the election. What I'm trying to appeal to the leaders, election, you will just do the election, but the leadership is come from Almighty Allah, because you are already inside the Holy Quran.
As human beings, sometimes one could be swayed, but always remember that if I could keep away during Ramadan, I should be able to keep away when it is not Ramadan. And all those good things I've been doing during Ramadan, why shouldn't I continue? We should maintain good relationship and good neighborliness. I always talk about Nigeria, that your country is very, very critical in what you value.
Eid al-Fitr, also known as the Festival of Breaking the Fast, is one of the most significant celebrations in Islam, symbolizing renewal, gratitude, and community. And Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on Nigerians to come together to surmount security challenges in Borno State and the nation at large. Shettima made the call as he joined thousands of Muslim faithful in Maiduguri to mark the Eid al-Fitr with messages of peace, hope, and resilience across the country. AIG's Mustafa Mohammed reports. As Nigeria is now ranked 4th in the world among the countries most affected by terrorism, this is according to the latest Global Terrorism Index reports. It raises fresh concerns about security, regional stability, and ongoing counterterrorism efforts. AIT's Ogehi Hemekbe has the reports.
Published by the Institute for Economics and Peace, places Nigeria behind only a handful of nations experiencing prolonged conflict. The Global Terrorism Index evaluates countries based on the impact of terrorist activities, including the number of incidents, fatalities, injuries, and property damage. Analysts say the ranking reflects persistent attacks by extremist groups, particularly in the Northeast, Northwest, and Middle Belt regions. Organizations such as Boko Haram and each splinter faction Islamic State West African Province or ISWAP continue to carry out deadly operations despite years of military campaigns. Security experts warn that while territorial control by insurgents has declined, asymmetric attacks such as ambushes, bombings, and raids remain a serious threat. The report notes that although there have been fluctuations in the number of attacks, the overall impact remains significant, particularly in vulnerable rural areas. It also highlights the broader challenges of poverty, displacement, and limited access to education as factors that can fuel instability. Millions remain displaced in Lake Chad Basin region and the Middle Belt region, with humanitarian agencies warning of worsening conditions if security does not improve. The Nigerian government has reiterated its commitment to combating terrorism, emphasizing ongoing military operations and regional cooperation. However, experts say long-term solution will require not only security measures, but also sustained investment in development and governance. For now, Nigeria's position on the Global Terrorism Index serves as a stark reminder of the work still ahead. Ogie Ihimekman, AIT News, Abuja.
Norris rose to global prominence through a blend of martial arts mastery and film success, becoming one of the most recognizable art stars of his generation. Before his acting career, he was a 6-time undefeated world karate champion, a feat that led to the foundation of his transition into Hollywood. He gained widespread fame for his roles in action films such as The Delta Force and Missing in Action, and later cemented his legacy with the long-running television series Walker, Texas Ranger, which made him a household name across the world. Beyond film and television, Norris became a cultural phenomenon through the vital Chuck Norris Facts, which celebrated his on-screen togetherness with humorous exaggerations. His death marks the end of an era of action cinema, with tributes already pouring in from fans and colleagues across the globe. And that's the world news on AIT. I am Sadiat Dusmo. Thank you so much for staying with us.